Alan Keyes' grudge, beaten 70-27 by Barack Obama in the 2004 Illinois Senate race, also one of 3,744 former MSNBC hosts. Alan Keyes back in the forefront in the wake of an interview outside a pro-life fundraiser in Nebraska. The three-time presidential candidate basically has yet to win anything he has run for, claiming that the new president would destroy this country.
Obama is a radical communist, and I think it's becoming clear. That's what I told people in Illinois, and now everybody realizes it's true. He is going to destroy this country, and we're either going to stop him or the United States of America is going to cease to exist.
Mr. Keyes also declaring the president an abomination for his pro-choice stance, before reviving the ridiculousness that is the rumor that will not die that Mr. Obama is not a citizen of the United States and therefore he's not actually president.
Is he president of the United States? According to the Constitution, in order to be eligible for president, you have to be a natural-born citizen. He has refused to provide proof that he is, in fact, a natural-born citizen. And his Kenyan relations say that he was born in Nairobi at a time when his mother was too young to transmit U.S. citizenship. So I'm not even sure he's president of the United States. No, that's not a laughing matter. Neither are many of our military people now who are going to court to ask the question, do we have to obey a man who is not qualified under the Constitution? We're in the midst of the greatest crisis this nation has ever seen. And if we don't stop laughing about it and deal with it, we're going to find ourselves in the midst of chaos, confusion, and civil war. It's time we started acting like grown-ups. The person you call President Obama, and I frankly refuse to call him that. Right. At the moment, he is somebody who is kind of an alleged usurper, who is alleged to be someone who is occupying that office without constitutional warrant to do so.
Mr. Keyes, it should be noted, is also not sure of the relative whereabouts of his ass and his elbow. The post-mortem in a moment. First, Keyes, in time to call in our own Jonathan Alter, senior editor at Newsweek magazine. Good evening, John.
Hi, Keith.
Just setting aside the image of what you would have to do or what you would do to yourself if you had to defend him at a sanity hearing. Alan Keyes leads off by saying Obama is a radical communist, that it's clear now that that's what he is. All right, a month out from the inauguration, what exactly has Obama done in the last month that shows he's a radical communist?
Well, he's thrown millions of people into the gulag. You know, he's abolished all private property, committed infanticide. You know, what is it that radical communists actually do? This is preposterous. It is kind of amusing on some level, even though Alan Keyes doesn't want us to think of it as such. And it does reflect really the desperation to which the far right wing has sunk.
But in that right-wing picture, that bigger picture between what we saw in the Post this week and Keyes, is it becoming clear that the GOP strategy is to try to repeat the Clinton experience, only maybe without the slight logic that was behind the Clinton experience, just harass the president from day one? Yeah,
you remember back in 1993, they tried to say that Bill Clinton wasn't legitimately president of the United States. Now, he didn't have a majority. He had 49% in that 92 election. And so they had just a little bit more plausibility to say that the people didn't really vote for him. But in this case, clearly Obama, has been confirmed by a majority. So the whole illegitimacy question is really even more preposterous. But they're trying to do what they did to Clinton starting in 1994, which is to take him out. But they don't have really the shock troops to do it anymore. Eric Cantor is not Newt Gingrich, not as effective. Alan Keyes doesn't have as much material to work with on Obama as some of those Arkansas folks did on Bill Clinton. They had some real skeletons in Clinton's closet that they could, then twist into saying that the Clintons killed people or whatever their idiocies led them to. They had more material to work with. In Obama's case, there is no material to work with, so they have to make it up entirely, which makes them seem even more pathetic.
But as long as you feed that community that is looking for some excuse to question the legitimacy of a presidency, have you not to some degree done your job? I mean, has Alan Keyes not to some degree done his job in this?
Well, I don't really think so, because I think it just sort of makes him and the other the other Obama critics look ridiculous, and so that doesn't really, help their cause in the debate. They are a party that is out of ideas, so they have to resort to these lies, about the fact that he's not a citizen. This came up during the campaign, Keith, and the Obama campaign actually posted his birth certificate from a Hawaii hospital online. And of course that didn't dissuade people from continuing to say that he wasn't really born in the United States, in the same way that there wasn't anything you could say that could dissuade people from believing that, Franklin Roosevelt was really, Rosenfeld, and that he was a communist Jew, or that the Clintons really killed people, or whatever it is that crazy folks want to believe about our president. So there's no way to kind of end this. All that you can do is laugh at it and recognize it for the act of desperation that it is.
But and to the point that even though the right-wing site, the WorldNet Daily, authenticated the Obama birth certificate, it tells you the substantialness of this or lack thereof. But to laugh at it is one thing, but there is in there something when he starts talking about neither are many of our military people who are now going to ask you, we have to obey a man who's not qualified. When you start bringing that into it, is it entirely still a laughing matter?
No, it really isn't, because then you do start to have to worry about whether some crazy folks might decide that they don't have to obey the commander-in-chief. And you do have to start to worry about whether he might get across that line into incitement, where some people might, suggest that the Secret Service should protect him from some of the loonier extremes. When they start saying that he must be stopped, I'm not quite sure what that means, but you're right, it's not a laughing matter.
Jonathan Alter of MSNBC and Newsweek, of course. As always, John, great thanks. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Keith.